Hello, hello, internet world. Here I am in my 40s, single, creative, and figuring things out. And honestly, between breaking up with my boyfriend last year, rediscovering the dating apps, creative projects, and all the traveling I've done recently, it's been kind of a mix of chaos and beauty. Hey, Singa. If that sounds like your kind of vibe, let's get into it. Hi, some of you know me, but if you don't, I'm Sean. I live in Venice Beach, California, and I am a designer, photographer, and a traveler. I've spent my entire life creating, and now I want to explore with you guys a little bit more about what makes a fulfilling life for someone like me, a creative and single guy in his 40s. I'm going to be talking about all sorts of things, everything from hookup culture in your 40s, dating and what that means in your 40s, travel adventures, and everything in between. I realize there aren't a lot of creators out there in their 40s, especially making content from a queer perspective. So I decided to create the kind of content that I wish I had. Let's talk about dating and relationships. So, as some of you know from my other social channels, I recently broke up with a long term boyfriend, and it did not end well. It ended with him completely ghosting me right before an international trip. Yeah, so let's just say in the days after that, I learned very quickly from my therapist about dismissive avoidance. And if he didn't check all the boxes, oh my God. But it actually was a little comforting to learn about that because he checked all of the boxes. I knew it was less about me and more about his own problems and issues. And what makes this story even more interesting is that this was a long distance relationship. He lived in South America, and like I've said already, I live here in Los Angeles. We met in Germany. I was in Germany for work, and he was passing through with his family, and we met on Grindr and ended up hooking up 2 nights in a row. And then after that, we started talking almost every day, either texting or video call, almost every day. And we fell in love. I fell in love with him, and I think that he fell in love with me too. It was fun meeting him that way, and it was actually fun to tell everyone that story. It felt kind of like a Hollywood meet cute, that these two people from opposite sides of the world have somehow collided in a foreign country to both of them. Yeah, and I feel like on those FaceTime calls, we developed like a really, really deep connection. He ended up coming here to the States probably about 3 months after we met. He scheduled his trip for 2 weeks, and I remember when he told me he had booked his flight, and it was we'd kind of talked about how long it was, and I was thinking like maybe a week, and he said 2 weeks. I got a little nervous. I was like, 2 weeks? That seems kind of like a long time, but I'm going to trust the process. And I knew that I had another place to go if things got weird, and I would just like let him stay in my apartment and I'll go stay somewhere else. And he kind of said the same thing. He was like, if things are weird or we don't connect, then he would go find a hotel or he would rebook his flight home or something. So I was like, okay, we'll do it. Anyway, that 2 weeks turned into 6 weeks. Yes, he stayed here in LA with me for 6 weeks. It was a wonderful, amazing 6 weeks. I felt like we were just falling deeper in love. And then at the end of that 6 weeks, we were just feeling so sad that we were going to have to let each other go. And the day before he left, I started looking for tickets to go with him, and I ended up using miles for my ticket down there, and then found a really, really cheap return. So I went to South America with him, stayed with him in his apartment, started meeting his friends. I think I ended up being down there for about a month, and then came back to the States. He stayed in South America. Luckily, we both have jobs where we can afford to do that. I work for myself. He works for his family, so we were able to arrange either time off or working remotely. And then over the next couple of years, we basically just went back and forth. You know, sometimes we would be apart for about a month, but for the most part, I would be down there for 4 to 6 weeks, and he would be here for 4 to 6 weeks. Long story short, cut to the ghosting. So I go down to South America. We have already booked a trip for the two of us to go to Madrid. The deal was I was going to have to travel to Buenos Aires first and spend about a week there, and then we would go to Madrid. Over the course of our relationship, we spent plenty of time traveling together to Los Angeles and plenty of time going to South America, but we had never gone on a vacation or holiday trip together. So we were very, very excited, or at least I was. I go down to BA, and I'm a little sick, but I'm on the mend. So I'm not at my best, but I'm doing okay. I thought our week was okay. We both pack for our trip. We make sure all of our arrangements are ready, and we call the hotel to make sure we can get early check-in because of our flight arrival. I mean, we're doing all the things. Like, every sign points to we're going to Madrid. Then we have checked into our flights and we have packed. And then he tells me the night before that he wants a break. And I'm like, you want a break? Okay, what? Let's talk about this. What's going on? And after a little bit of back and forth, it was like, honestly, I don't even know what it was about. It was about some like little things like house chores and things. And it was so dumb to me. Not dumb to the point where I didn't want to talk about it because I was willing to talk and learn. It was so dumb to me looking back at it that this was the cause of the break. But I also understand that this was not the actual cause. This is probably something that was on his mind. Anyway, he did kind of say that. He said, have you not been thinking about this for about a month? And I'm like, no, I haven't been thinking about that at all. I'm in love with you and I'm excited about going to Madrid. So I was very, very upset. I did some crying. We're in the same apartment though. I had to finish packing. And I just thought, well, maybe he's just upset and he'll change his mind tomorrow morning. He slept on the sofa. I slept in the bed. I woke up in the morning and I go into the living room and I ask him if he had changed his mind and if he wanted to go. And I was really hoping that I expressed that I really hoped he had changed his mind, because even if he was angry at me now, I thought this was a great time for us to reconnect and talk about things that might be bothering us about each other. He hadn't changed his mind. So I was packed and ready to go. The flight wasn't for like 6 hours, but I was just like, I can't spend any more time in this apartment. So I take an Uber to the airport and spend the time up until the flight in the lounge. And honestly, in the back of my head, the entire time I was like, this is going to be like one of those rom-com moments where he realizes the mistake he's made and he runs through the airport and he makes it to the gate just in time. I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. He did not show up. I cried a lot on that flight from BA to Madrid. That's a long flight too, if you don't know. I think it's 12 hours. Whew. And anyway, I got to the hotel, I checked in. I didn't call him or text him, but I left him a WhatsApp voice note just to let him know that, hey, I've made it to the hotel. Okay, I hope that he was doing good and that I was going to respect his wishes for a break and that I would wait for him to contact me. Traveling alone is already a challenge, It can be very difficult. But traveling alone after a breakup is like another level of challenging. But one thing I decided was that I was not going to sit in my hotel room and sulk. And I had packed lots of really fun looks. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to get up. I'm going to put on a cute outfit. I'm going to go out there and make outfit of the day videos every day just to get myself up and moving. And it was probably one of the best things I possibly could have done. Cut to a month later, he has not contacted me, completely ghosted. So I reached out to him after a month of therapy too. From your silence, it's obvious that you don't want to be in this relationship anymore. So thank you for the good times that we've had, and thank you for being loving and caring while we were together. Because he really was. He was loving and caring the entire time we were together until that flip, that dismissive, avoidant flip switched. I'm sure I'll talk a lot more about dismissive avoidance and my experiences in that relationship. It's been about 2 months, and only 2 months since I've exited that relationship, but I think one of the most important things that I have learned is that I am not looking for someone to complete me, but I'm looking for someone to complement the life that I've already built. And I think that is really, really empowering. So if you're navigating life, love, and creativity, or maybe you're just a little curious about what's going on in my life, hit that subscribe button. Or subscribe button? I don't know where it is. Hit that subscribe button and follow along. Let's figure this out together. Also, I want to hear your stories. What are some like awkward dates that you've had, weird hookups, or maybe a really bad breakup? I want to hear them. I want to hear them all. Put them in the comments. Let's talk about them. Thanks for spending some time with me. Here's to thriving in my 40s. One awkward hookup, situationship, relationship, creative project at a time. Hope to see you in the next video. Peace.